Hello, RJ. We're live.
Okay, awesome.
Where are you, RJ?
I am right
Phys-
now in my classroom.
In what city?
I'm sorry. I am in South Florida. I live in Coral Springs, Florida, but I'm down here in Miramar. I work in Miramar, Florida.
I
It's
see.
about
I
30
see.
minutes away. Yeah, closer to
Yeah.
Miami.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit. You are in your classroom, so you must be a teacher.
Yes,
Tell us
I
what you.
teach.
Yeah.
Sure, I teach middle school band. Middle school band. I also have a couple of other programs. I teach jazz band, and I have a little rock band program, um, drumline after school program, and also going to be starting string orchestra in
Wow.
a couple of weeks. So
Wow. God bless
yeah.
you. You're gonna hear those squeaking strings.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I don't have a strings class, I have to audition kids, so they have to have at least a year or two of playing ability.
Uh,
So I can, at least have a group that is familiar with the instrument.
yeah.
If I had a class, I could take, straight beginners, but because it's extracurricular, I have to do, the audition process.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit about your musical background. And I know you are a singer, you're trained as a classical singer. And
Yes.
how did you end up being band director and
Yeah,
string
that's a
teacher?
story. Actually, when I was in college, I became a music major. At first, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I first got to college. I think it was my first year. Uh,
Yeah.
I was a communications major, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was sort of undecided. The second half of my first year in college, I decided to become a music major, and at first I started with percussion. Had a little bit of problems with being, a percussion student in the beginning. So I said, okay, let me become a voice major. So I became a voice major, and I started taking all the music classes and everything, and I ended up falling in love with singing. And I believe it was my second year of college where I found out I had the talent to sing.
Ah,
And before that, I did sing in my church choir when I was younger as a teenager, but I didn't really know how to sing that well. You know, um, so all of that actually came close to my second year of college when I really, oh wow, I can sing. So it's a God given gift that I never knew I had. You
did
know,
did any of your parents do
yes,
music? Uh,
yes, my father. I never met him. He passed away when I was a year old. So my real father, he was a musician. He played the accordion. He played the piano. Played the guitar. He used to record with his friends on vinyl, of course. But that's where I got that gift from. He he was a musician in the family.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now you were a singer and you study voice, and what happened after
So, after studying voice, I was classically trained to sing opera by a very amazing instructor. His name was Mr. Curtis Ram. And Mr. Ram taught me so much about singing, as well as Dr. Steele, which was my course choir director back in college, chorale director, and just back and forth learning from them and Dr. Oturu, Dr. Wharton, Miss Wharton. There's so many teachers that I had in college were uh, a big asset to me learning how to sing. I said asset. I meant a big part of me becoming a singer. And the friends that I had around me in college, amazing people. They used to sing around me all the time. And I went to a predominantly black college, and I'm a Hispanic guy, so I wasn't such a good singer, and I was intimidated when I was sitting around all these people that were amazing singers, and I was like, man, I got to learn how to sing this good. So I would literally take some R&B songs that had tapes back then. So I used to rewind tapes and just like try to learn
Right.
over and over until I got it. I would just spend hours learning, trying to teach myself how to sing, how to do runs, how to hold notes out. And then um, my voice teacher would teach me all these vocal techniques and had me singing a lot of operatic arias and all of these things. And that's how I became a classically trained singer. What was the song that I used to sing everywhere? Um, Largo al factotum, which is the Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. That song.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I was known in college as Figaro. They called me that because I had to sing that every time we had a concert. Well, most of the times we had concerts with the chorale. My director, Dr. Steele, would put me out there to sing that song, and tours and everything. So that was kind of, people would call me Figaro. You know.
yeah.
Um, so that's kind of how I learned how to sing. Graduating college, though, I had no idea I was going to be a band director, and I didn't really want to sing opera. I wanted to actually be a singer, like record albums and things. But I I found out, like, when I left college, I had this music degree. I said, okay, what am I going to do? And then somebody told me, you can become a teacher. And I said, I don't really want to teach. I didn't really want to become a teacher. But I ended up doing the music teacher thing, and I ended up falling in love with teaching. And it came natural to me to just teach music, and it was so much fun. I started out in elementary school for a few months, then I went to a high school for about a year. After that, I went to two other elementary schools, and this one elementary school that I went to, North Andrews Gardens Elementary, I was there for about 3 years, and I built a music program there. I was just a general music teacher. They had a piano teacher and dance teacher. They had a strings teacher. It's a performing arts school. They
Nice.
had a
Nice.
strings teacher, so I was just a general music teacher. So I decided to make up my own program. So I took my kindergarten through second graders. I would teach them show choir. So I would just teach them these cute little songs that I would write for them, and then record music for it, and then I would teach them little movements, and they would sing it on stage for their parents. And you know, for my third, fourth, and fifth graders, I had a drumline program that I started with out of just pieces of a drum set until it became a full-fledged drumline that won an award, and so proud of them. And I also started a audio recording program. I gutted out this closet that was on the side of the stage, took everything out of there, and I brought the principal in there, and I said, I want to make this a recording studio and start a audio program with these kids, and we can put out albums and sell them to the parents at the end of the year and build, make money for the music program. And she allowed us to do that. She gave us, I think it was $10,000 to build a studio in there. And I was able to build a small studio. We recorded 3 albums. Every year we recorded an album. The last album that we did, we had little skits in between the songs. That's where I started falling in love with storytelling. And all of that led to kind of what I do now, which is the writing scripts, writing the book, and all of that stuff. So um, that's that's where I am now. Now I am in a middle school. I've been here 13 years,
Wow.
and I I was in the I was about to have a son, and I was surplus from the school that I was in,
Yeah.
and I think my wife was pregnant with my second son, I believe.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't really have during that summer. I didn't have a job. I was surplus. It was my third year working at that elementary school, and the principal told me they can't afford to keep me.
Hmm.
So my wife was pregnant at the time with my second one. So um, at the very end of the summer, I got a phone call that they offered me a job to teach at 2 different middle schools as a band director. And I said no, because I mean, for the same pay as a one school, that's a lot of work. So they finally decided to keep me in this school, and I came here, and I've been here ever since. And I had to learn to become a band director. So over the years, a
Do
lot of
you
trial and error.
do you play any instrument?
Yes, I play piano,
Oh, you do.
drum set, guitar.
Uh-huh.
bass guitar. I play trumpet, trombone, tuba, flute.
Oh,
You know,
you do all of that. You mean you did it after you become a band, or
after I
you
had to
already
teach
knew?
myself. Yes, yes. I took instruments home when I first became a teacher. I would take an instrument home for a week and just kind of learn it. During my break, I would take it into my office and just kind of learn how to play the notes. I would go over the method books, and little by little, I started learning how all these instruments kind of, all the woodwind instruments kind
Mm.
of correlate with each other. How brass instruments are very similar. The buzzing techniques are a little different, but almost the same. So I learned so much. A lot of the techniques of breathing that I learned and singing, I was able to apply it to band. But there's a lot that I didn't know,
Mm.
there, and I'm still learning, honestly. I've seen other band directors that are out there right now, and in my community of band directors, they're amazing.
Mhm.
And it's crazy because I'm always comparing myself to them. I'm like, man, I want to be that good.
Yeah.
But you know I'm here as long as I can be a band director, but I really, my goal right now, my vision is to just be a film director. I wanna direct this. I want to make this movie, specifically the movie that I wrote my novel after. I made a script version of that, and that's where my heart is right now, is to get that movie out there for the masses. So
I wanted to play people a a song actually. Okay, I'll show you your website. You have a nice YouTube channel, and you tell me which one you would like. I like to showcase your singing first. Is
uh,
this one
sure.
good?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Good. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Let me tell me if I click that, it's gonna be showing or not. Okay. You see it?
Yes.
You see it? Okay. So
Yeah.
tell us before I play. Tell us a little bit about this song. Caught up. You wrote lyrics and you
Yes.
did a mixing and you sang. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit. Where is this song come from? Like.
Well, actually, all the songs that are there, I think there's like a total of 8, maybe 9 of them. These songs came out in 2020, most of them, and that was during the pandemic where we were not allowed to leave our homes. So I was blessed with a lot of studio equipment, and I was able to start creating music. And I just sat there in my small little apartment that we had at the time, and I was just sitting there in the dining room with my computer, just making music, recording, writing lyrics, and that's how all of this came out. All these songs came out in 2020, because there was nowhere to go, nothing to do. So I was like, I'm gonna make some music. So I
That's
started making music,
that's awesome.
and I recently collaborated. Now, just got back together with it's been about 2 years now. Got back together with two of my brothers that we used to do music in the past. Our group was called Call to Worship, still is, and we started singing again together. So that's who I'm making music with now, you
Okay.
know, and
Let's listen to it. Okay.
sure.
What is this feeling deep inside? Feels like I flew to paradise. Better than any food I've tried. I am consumed in all your goodness. Ooh, your love is one I can't deny. Jesus, your love gives me butterflies. Brighter than 10 million stars at night. Illuminating, I'm caught up in you. You got me, you got me, you got
Can I
me.
tell you something about this, Ching?
Yeah.
I actually recorded this in a closet in my middle school. It's not really a closet. I'm sorry. It was a small studio
Yeah.
for the TV studio.
Yeah.
They had a black drape in there, and I took some of my stage lights and went in there and set it up in the morning. And this was literally one of the fastest videos I ever done.
Wow.
It was one day of shooting, and it was like an hour and a half that I have for my break in between classes.
Oh,
So I went in there and I just recorded the whole thing, and then I went back and edited and did all of that stuff. So I had to do quick outfit changes and, did some B-roll and then put it all together.
so you just set up your camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
You set up yourself. Do you have someone? Do you have a cameraman to do this?
No. This was all me. This is all me doing this on my own.
Selfie.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, at this time, I was very new to using this camera. I had just got this camera, so I was learning how to use it, learning how to focus it, and it's a very entry-level camera, But I was trying to exercise some of the things that I learned on YouTube about lighting and filmmaking and all of that stuff. So I was still learning.
Looks good. And what kind of software for editing?
I use Final Cut Pro.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So you by then you already have been playing around with
A little bit, yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, let's I wanted to hear another one. So
Sure.
go back. Yeah, tell me which one should
Sure.
we
Oh wait, I can't scroll.
oh
There's one that I sing with the guys that I sing with. Their names are Tyrone and Maurice Cross, and it's none of these songs though. These are all the songs that I did by myself, but I've done songs with them. I don't think it's on this playlist. It's on the playlist that's if you see a playlist that says RJ Ross Music.
hold on, let me go to the playlist. Short films. Hold on. RJ Ross Music.
Yes.
Okay. RJ.
And if you scroll down to, oh no, that's the wrong one.
Huh? No.
It's it's on this playlist, but it's low. It's
Oh, it's on this playlist, right?
yeah, it's on that playlist. I wonder why that's in there. Probably got in there by accident. It's called Raining.
Raining.
You'll see three guys. It's right there, the blue one right there on the top. Oh, you just passed it. It's
this one.
Raining. Yeah. These are the two brothers that I sing with now.
Oh, cool. Hold on.
So we do like R&B type gospel music.
Oh, okay. Let me make it louder.
There's a little echo when you play the tracks too.
It's raining, it's pouring. Come on out of the storm. There is shelter, protection. So come on out, come on out. I know it's been crazy. You've been through some tests, just downright frustrating. Pressure keeps on building, but God's opened the door, freed you from your worry. And trust is sometimes scary, but come on in because it's raining. Oh. It's raining, it's pouring outside. Come on where it's safe to shelter. Come on, protection. So come on in out of the storm. Come go with me, and you will see the price was paid for you to be free. Drink from the well that won't dry. Lift your head and dry your eyes and smile, for a brighter day is here for you. Here come.
That was the first one that was singing. The guy in the middle is the one that's singing now.
Everything you need is here.
The The next one is Tyrone,
Come on,
the other bald-headed guy in the
I know you're vulnerable and you're nervous to change. You don't have to run and hide behind your pain. There is someone who gave his life in exchange. Took your ashes, made you beautiful, and called your name. You are loved. You don't have to cry no more. There is feeling love. He has for you. Come on in now. Oh, come in. I know you see the rain.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about this. So you wrote the whole thing.
No. We all wrote this song together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I produced the music and did the mixing and mastering. But we all wrote the song together, came up with the harmonies together. We matter of fact, after this, after we leave here, I'm gonna be going to rehearse with them tonight. So we have
Wow.
rehearsals on Wednesday nights.
Wow, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So are you usually singing the high parts like
Yes.
okay.
I'm usually on the high parts. Sometimes I sing the falsetto part on the top. They usually put me on the top
Awesome.
note, but
So the first solo was you.
yes, the first one was me. The
Awesome.
middle guy was Maurice, and then the last one, he also
Yeah.
black man. Yeah. He was the last person to sing. There was a little bit of delay when you were listening, so if you wanted to get the full experience, if you go
Yeah.
to visit my page, you'll be able to hear the songs a lot better.
Yeah. So great. I love it. I love it very much.
Thank you.
You call that what, R&B?
Yes, it's R&B gospel.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So let's rewind a little bit. I understand you were born in Peru and Lima, Peru, and tell us a little bit your childhood. How come you were born there and then you ended up in New York actually?
Yes, I actually came to the United States between the ages of 6 and 7. I was in Peru in my early childhood. It's almost like a blur to me, but I do remember some things about Peru. I do have my uncles and my aunts there. My cousins are there. My cousins are also all musicians. They're from my father's side. We moved to Florida, I believe, for a few months before we went to New York. And most of my childhood life was lived in New York. And that I remember like it was yesterday. That's where I learned how to graffiti and spray paint and all of that stuff as a kid. And my artistic talent started to come out when I was in New York. I lived in Queens for a couple of years. So
The food there is great, right?
yeah.
Lots of great food. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. So when you come to New York, when you sort of remember your teen time, right?
Mhm.
And do you find yourself like you have a belonging, like a Queens? There's a lot of Chinese there. Do they have a
Yeah.
lot of
There's
Latino?
actually it's like a melting pot. We lived in a part of Queens. There were a lot of Polish people and Jamaican people. There was another part of Queens that had a lot of Hispanic people. Then there's the part that had a lot of Korean, Chinese people. But there's a lot of different parts of Queens. We lived in a city called Maspeth. We also lived in Astoria, Queens. We also lived in, oh God, I don't remember if it was Flushing.
Flushing, yeah.
Yeah, and we also lived in Manhattan. I believe we also lived in Brooklyn. There's so many different places we lived in New York. It's such a long time ago. But Queens is the one that I remember the most because that's where most of our time was spent in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do feel like in terms of what do you call where you belong to and your ethnicity, and do you feel like you are true American with Latino background? How did you feel?
I don't know. I would say I call myself a mixed. I'm mixed. I'm so mixed. I have a lot of different mixed with so many different things.
Mm,
So Peruvian, Austrian, Italian. I have relatives that they look Chinese.
mm,
So I don't know if they have descendants from there. I know there's a lot of Italian in my family. I know there's Austria from my father, um, and Yugoslavian, I believe.
I see.
So there's a lot of things that I'm mixed with. Peruvian, and I speak Spanish, not that well, but I speak Spanish. I forgot a lot of the language, being around, being in America for so long now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I consider myself an American, now, but yeah, I don't know. Race and culture is important to me, but I'm not over. I don't really focus on it too much.
Mm,
I'm a human being, you
yeah.
know, and I live in a world with other human beings. We're all different, but
Right.
that's how I see things.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about. I knew you from Clubhouse, and by the way, congratulations! You
Thank you.
won like what 8 or 9
Eight
categories,
awards. Yeah, it was 8 awards.
8 awards
Mhm.
in December of 2022 at Darren Danju's 1 Minute Film School. That's where we hang out. That's how
Yes.
I met you.
Yes.
It took me a long time to get you.
I know. I
I
know.
I invited you
I
last year
apologize for that.
sometime. You're like delaying it. I'm too busy. And so yeah, tell us a little bit about that 1 minute film school. Like how did you get on with us or how did I get on with you? I mean, like
Well,
when did you get
actually,
on this thing? Like our
yeah,
clubhouse.
I was going through Clubhouse and I saw that I just saw the words 1 minute film school and I said, wait, there's a film school on Clubhouse? Because I was already wanting to make my novel into a movie, at the time, and I had already written the script. I was already working with a company from California to try to get it produced, all of that stuff. So I was already there mentally. I was like, okay, filmmaking, boom. I would run to everything that says filmmaking. So when I saw 1 minute film school, I was like, do you have to pay for this? And I went and I clicked it and I listened to it and I was like, oh wow. And that's the first time I met Darian. I believe he was showing some color grading. It was a color grading class,
Mm,
and I jumped on it. I was like, oh yes, color grading. I would love to learn about this. So I got on there and I just started learning, and it was I think it was a webinar he was holding,
mm,
and he was the audio was on Clubhouse. You could hear it on Clubhouse, but we were looking at our computers. So that's how I met Darian, and I started asking questions and everything. And then he mentioned about the competitions and all of this. I was like, oh man, this would be great practice.
mm,
So I started practicing making films and short films, and something that I've been wanting to do anyway. So once I got that camera, it's like everything was like, okay, filmmaking. I went on YouTube and learned tons of videos just about lighting and just teaching myself about lighting, framing, everything, uh, cinematic, everything cinematic, you know.
it's
And I
wonderful.
just drenched myself in just learning for hours on YouTube and
Uh-huh.
taking notes and everything. And putting it to practice with 1 minute film really helped me become better at filmmaking, and understanding color
Hmm.
as an artist. It
Yeah.
helps with lighting so much,
Right.
understanding storytelling, helps so much with script writing, and just all of these. I've always wondered since I was younger. I would ask God these questions like, God, how come I'm so gifted in so many things? Why can't it just be one thing? Why can't I just be okay? You're a good singer and that's it. Why do I have to have a lot of gifts in the arts? And
Yeah.
that used to bother me. For some people, they would love
What's
that.
wrong with
For
me?
me, it was like a curse. I didn't want it. I was like, can I just be one thing? Because I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Yeah.
And then when this filmmaking thing came, I was like, oh my God, I have all of these gifts to do all of these things well. And all of these things can be used for filmmaking. And then I was like, that's why you did that, God. So,
No,
I'm
you're
so
you're like
grateful.
a really a quick learner, and also you do things. I saw your film from from I would say the first season you show your stuff.
Mhm.
Now is what, like a second or third season now, like
Yes, third.
altogether. I really see a progression, in terms of the camera angle, storyline, and also the color you add on, color grading, I guess, and the editing, everything. So it's yeah, it's a I really see the progress, and it's in you do things very refined, and I really appreciate that. And because you you can only tell a story in one goddamn minute, it's really hard.
Yeah, yeah, it
you
is.
know yeah, so
It's a
let's
challenge.
watch one of your work.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see, let me find one more time. Present. Okay, screenshot. Present screenshot. And go there. Go to your website. By the way, you guys, please subscribe, or watch first. Watch RJ's YouTube channel. Now, which one shall we play? You
You could play the one with my son looking into a big bright light. My oldest
Bright light.
says abducted. Abducted.
Abduct. Oh, here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All
This
right.
was one of the 1 minute films from about a year ago, I think.
Yeah. This has some special effects.
What is that?
That's great. Yeah, I think. Oh, there's a cross. Cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Very good. So let's see. Let's go back to this. Shall we see one more, please?
Sure. Do you want to show the one that won the
Yeah.
award?
Yeah.
That's the
One
one on the very top. It's called
magic.
Magic Ornament. Yes.
Yeah. So this one, uh, RJ won best picture, and what else? Best everything.
Best sound, best picture, best cinematography,
Best wardrobe.
best wardrobe, best shot list, couple of other things.
Yeah, that's very.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
My kids were like,
Yeah, but it's I just see a lot of thoughtfulness in it. That's why you deserve it.
"Thank
'Cause,
you."
because you treat it like it's a 10-minute or 60-minute. It's like
Absolutely.
it's a 1 minute. So
Yeah.
people sometimes overlook, and they they do things. I would say in a shortcut, right?
Mhm.
I would say, yeah. I see you made a lot of effort. Okay, here we go. It's called the magic ornament.
Oh wait, before you play it,
Oh,
I think when if your mic is still on and my mic is on, I think it echoes back and forth. So there's like a delay in everything that's heard.
let's mute.
Yeah, we might have to mute.
Remember, child, touch the ornament and live again.
What was that?
Let's
Right,
go.
man.
Guys, it's me! Josh, wait! Josh!
Abigail! 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 You fell asleep again. Come on, the
You
movies.
found the ornament, my child.
I knew I could, Grandpa.
You found it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what is the inspiration come from this story?
I believe I saw something similar. It wasn't an ornament. It was something else. I forget what it was. It was something that I saw, but it wasn't a. I don't know if it was a Christmas movie or something. I saw some movie where there was an object that had some kind of magical powers,
Mm.
and I kind of just got the idea from that, and just started writing, and came up with that. So, and it was a lot of fun making this one. We had a lot of fun doing it. I had to figure out a lot of shots, how to make my daughter invisible, how to have her ghost grab an ornament off the tree and have the ornament actually leave the tree. That was a task, trying to figure that out. Having her walk through furniture, that was the task. I had to learn how to mask her out. It was a fun process. I had to borrow a camera for this one because my camera did not do good in low light. So I went to my friends in church and I asked if I could borrow one of the cameras at the church, and they had a C100 camera there, Canon, that works better with low light. So I said, okay, let me try this one. So I asked if I could borrow it, and they let me borrow it for a week. So I took it and I was like, oh yes, low light, I can actually see a little better with this camera. So
That's awesome.
it was just a lot that went into making this one. A lot of different
How
shots and planning and everything.
many days of shooting? And how many
It was
like
two.
how many takes some of the scenes? Like
Most of the scenes didn't really take that many takes. It was, I believe, one of the scenes that I had to do over was the one where she walks through the furniture. That was the scene that I had to do over. The other scenes were shot in one day. It was 2.5 hours, about 2.5 hours of shooting, and then the following day, or maybe the day after the following. No, it was the following day. I had to do the shot with just my daughter. I think it was her. No, it wasn't the one where she was invisible. It was the one where she had to run to her brother and drop the ornament. That's the scene we had to do, and that's the only one that I had left. And then after that, I just went and edited everything. So we had to do voiceover. I had to do voiceover for this one. I had to create background music for it. I had to make the TV sound. I had to act as if I was the old guy talking.
mm,
I also had to talk like a little kid at the end of the movie.
mm.
So I had to figure out how I was going to do all of that. So, made it believable. I was able to play with some lights to make it look like they were watching TV.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's so
yeah.
good. So tell us a little bit about you being a father, and I understand you have 4 kids.
I have 4 kids.
That's a lot of
Beautiful
work.
children. It is a lot of work, but I love them. They're really good kids. I can't complain. They have grown up to be such amazing children, and it's just been a great time with my children. I haven't really had, my wife and I have not had any problems with our kids. They're really wonderful children. They get along very well together. They do have their arguments. They do get in arguments with each other like every sibling does, but they're just really good kids. So I love being a father to them.
So do you have any expectations from them? Like say they like arts, or some like science, or some like this and that.
They're
Like
very artsy.
yeah.
Yeah, they had like one of my sons, my oldest. He loves to do editing. He likes to edit videos. He likes to work on what is it, Premiere Pro and all this stuff. He loves working with videos and just editing videos. He loves doing that. My daughter loves to act. She likes modeling, acting. She likes playing the piano. My youngest son likes to play the piano. He plays clarinet as well. He's really good at it. Then I have my middle son. He's a great trumpet player. He loves to play trumpet. Very, very responsible child.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they're just really good kids. They're mostly artsy kids. They love the arts. So
So
they
you
like
have 3 boys, 1 girl.
3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh,
Yes.
that girl is very spoiled, probably.
Not really. Not really. I wouldn't say she's spoiled. She's a
Anyway, yeah, that's great.
yeah.
I salute you and your wife. It's so much work, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, and I was wondering, you being a father of many, children, does that help you in some ways when you teach, when you deal with kids? Does it help?
Yes. Yes, it does. I know just by being around my children and seeing the things that they think about, that they go through at home, that they're exposed to, and I see my students, I know how to relate to my students because I understand the age level. I remember being a 6th grader, a 7th grader, an 8th grader. Those were the most awkward years of my life, especially my 6th grade year. I was pretty bad kid, made a lot of bad choices. But I remember being that age, like it was yesterday. So when I see these children in front of me and I'm teaching them, I don't really lash out at them when they do something off, that would get any regular teacher would probably be like really upset and yell at them. I don't. I'm not a yeller. I know how to. I don't know. I just know how to deal with them. And if sometimes I'll stop a whole
Mhm.
class just to ask a kid, "You need to talk? Are you okay?" Go to my office and talk for a minute, and then I'll tell class, give me about 5 minutes, and I'll go into class and I was like, I'll have a talk with the child. Are you
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I'm that kind of teacher. Um, and I
Cool.
just always concerned about their well-being as well as their musicianship,
Teacher.
so
Yeah. By the way, you have a friend of you, I think his name is Greg M. He says, "Howdy, RJ."
hey Greg.
Can you see anything on your?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just pull them up when I feel like you can see here, right? On
uh,
the screen, like underneath our talking.
oh yes, now I
Underneath
see
me,
it,
yeah,
comments.
yeah.
Oh wow, that many
You have
people.
you have another. I think is she your friend, Ancient 11, face red heart shape. oh, 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 she's talking about me.
uh
Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to thank our audience here. We have Greg, we have Ancient 11, and let's see, Shark FinTech. Mark is always very supportive to me, and then Nick Riviera, and he also stopped by very often. And let's see, we have Sean, my son was here watching us, and then we have Shark Fin. Yeah, so we have, and I think Lewis was here, but he probably left or something. So yeah, well, thank you guys
hi
for
guys.
stopping by. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we love people in the audience. If you guys have any questions, you can type it so we can ask RJ some questions. Now, let's talk about your book. You
Sure.
wrote a book. Tell
Yeah,
us about the book and
sure.
how long it is and where it is. Oh, I know it's in Amazon. Yeah,
Yes,
tell us.
I actually came up with these characters when I was 12 years old, and these were characters that I started drawing at around 12 years old, and I just kind of left them alone and picked it back up while during my marriage. I picked them back up. At first, I was trying to make a comic book out of it, so I made 3 pages of a comic book, and I was doing it on Microsoft Paint at the time because that's what I had. But I tried to do as best as I could do with what I had. And man, I should have sent you some copies of that. But that was the first fuzzball anything that I created. But then I started writing a script, and my wife told me, "Why don't you make it into a novel first?" And I said, you know what, baby, you're absolutely right. Why don't I make it a novel? So I started writing the novel version. And lo and behold, I came up with the novel version. I put it on Amazon and it started selling copies and everything. A lot of my students from the past started buying them off. And, I ended up taking it down, fixing a few things, making it a little easier to read. And I put it back up again, and oh, there it is on the screen. Yeah. So I have it here. I illustrated all of the drawings in here. There's about 40 illustrations, 41 maybe illustrations.
Oh yeah, I forgot you draw when you were younger.
Yes, that was my first talent and gift that everybody knew me for, was for art, painting, murals. I did many murals for a lot of people. I At the time, a long time ago, when Dwayne Wade first started playing basketball, not first started, but earlier in his basketball career, I went into his home and I painted his son's room. What else? I painted one of NFL players' home as well. Earl Little. He had me do a lot of artwork in his house. They're wonderful people. I miss them. And there was just a lot of different places. Darrell Wright, he was another NBA player that I did some artwork for his son's room. And I've done a lot of faux painting and marbleizing of columns in people's homes, and then I've also done portraits of people, paintings of people, and a lot of things like that. So that I haven't done in a while, in a long time. I've actually thrown myself into storytelling and filmmaking and writing my second novel as well. Still in the process of doing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So so the book is like 190 some pages.
Yes, 190.
Yeah, so it's not a thin book. It's a quite a
Yeah,
substantial.
it's a novel.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Novel, yeah.
So how tell us a little bit process of if someone want to write a novel. So first, of course, you have to write it, and then do you find somebody else to check and to edit your thing, or you do everything together?
Yes, I actually I had a couple of people that do this work professionally, look at the book and do some editing of the book. Um, at first, the first person I went to was on Fiverr, and this person came like with a 5-star rating, and they were very highly recommended by a lot of people, and so I went with that person. They took a look at my book, and I had to rewrite so many times and send it back to this person. It's like, now it's good. Now I understand what's going on in the story, and they help the story structure and everything. So
Are they Americans or?
yes, one of them was she was from, I believe, Michigan.
Mm,
And there was another one that was from Canada.
nice.
And also I wrote a script based on this novel. So the script that I wrote based on this novel and the complete pitch deck that I created for that movie, that was done with a company. Their name was Open Gate Entertainment. They helped me put the script together and package it as a pitch deck with the beat sheet, the synopsis, the treatment, everything.
Right.
I got all of that done with the script. I rewrote the script so many times, but once it was finally done, it's read so well. So I just left it. I was like, okay, good. Now, if it needs to be tweaked a little bit in the future, like if a director ever picks it up and says, they want to tweak some things, I'll be okay. I just don't want the storyline to go a totally different direction, than what the purpose of the movie is. And I really want people to see how powerful forgiveness is. I just tried to make it really cool and, with the cool characters and everything. But
is this your next project? Like to find, what do you call, founder and to find a director, find someone.
Yes, I am in the search for a line producer right now and a director that has been doing this for years, professionally, has movies under their belt that has won Academy Awards and all that kind of stuff. I want to work with people like that, because this is something that's it's too big for me to do by myself. It's a lot of work. It's a big project. A lot of CGI, and it's CGI and live action. So, there's a lot of funds involved in that I don't have. So, but I know that if people see what the story is, they'll wanna lock arms and work. So, and it's a really good story. It's such a good story.
It will be like how long? What do you say? How many pages of your script? Is it like a feature?
It is 118, maybe a little less than that. 118 pages, 110 pages, somewhere around there.
So that means 100 minute. 100 minute.
I'm sorry.
100 minute, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a
So
little more.
1 minute. 1 minute is one page.
Yeah. So it's almost like 119 minutes. I think it's 118 pages.
Oh, okay.
Taken.
Yeah.
Of a script.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a good length.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect length. Not too short and not too long.
Yeah. And the character in the novel, the teenage boy, I kind of have a lot to do with his life. I wasn't really neglected per se by my stepfather when I had a stepfather, but he was an abusive person. I was hurt by him, so I understand the hurt like the character in the story goes through, and the reason that I went with the subject of forgiveness is because I myself had a time that I always kept it to myself. I never really revealed it to my sister or my mother. It was always something that I always held inside, that forgiveness that I had for this man. He hurt me. I was hurt by him, but I was able to release him and let him go and just forgive him. I remember praying one day, it's like, God, I forgive this man. I know he did a lot of bad things, but I forgive him wherever he is.
Still living?
Now, I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't even know. But if I ever see him again, or if he ever approaches me and says, remember me, I would give him a hug and say, I forgive you. I understand. I forgive you. I would do that, even though I was really hurt. But when I let all that stuff go, you just feel so free. There's so much freedom in forgiving people, of things that they've done to you, no matter how bad it is. And it's not for that person. It's really for you. You need to. It's important to not carry unforgiveness in your heart, because it's like a weight, and that weight cannot allow you to move forward. It'll take you longer to get to your destination when you're carrying on to all this unforgiveness. So releasing somebody of the stuff that they've done in the past, that's already happened, it's in the past, you forgive them, you're free. You can now move forward with your life. And I've done that, and I know what it feels like to do that, and this story, there is a character. It's actually one of the fuzzballs, though, that character has been holding on to unforgiveness for so many years. And you see in the story kind of when, I can't really give it away because then I'll be telling the story. But in the climax of the story, just the simple act of forgiveness does something amazing, in the story. I won't say what, but,
No, that's so profound. Yeah. I think if we can learn that, or we can try to forgive, because there's always so many people have animosities, or people feel like they're neglected, or feel broken heart, right? So but if you can forgive them in different degrees, and like you said, you free yourselves, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful. So we are almost to our hour. Would you like to play at a rapid fire with me? I didn't ask you earlier. Rapid fire is that I ask a question and kind of short, and you answer really short. It could be inconsequential.
I'll try.
It can be very silly. Okay. Sure. All right. So let's. But anyway, before we do rapid fire, I want to thank you to be here with me and, to share your story and to inspire people. You are so talented in very many ways,
I'm
and
honored. Thank
your
you.
students are very lucky to have you as a teacher, and your children are very lucky to have you
I'm
as a
lucky to have them as my children.
yeah. And I
And my
want to
wife.
thank, yeah, and Lashira is with us, and thank you so much for being here. A lot of people I already mentioned earlier, and let's see. Before I do the what do you call it, the rapid fire? Also, if you have not watched some of my film on this movie or videos on this channel, please do, and please consider subscribe to my channel. And let's see, today I believe I've done a lot of interview programs. And I think RJ, you are my 108 episode.
Wow. Cool. That's
Wait, is
awesome.
it 100? No. No, 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 no. Sorry. I made a mistake. 208.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chang. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I've been doing that since the pandemic. Yeah. And I also made a film lately last year. It's called My Young Gandari. It was a shot iPhone 11. So when you get a chance, please watch it. It's on Tubi TV. It's free.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. Anyway, all right. So rapid fire. What's your favorite color?
Black.
Magic. That's cool. What is your? Do you have a favorite songwriter?
Yes, I actually do. Okay. A lot of people probably won't agree with me, but Brian McKnight is one of my favorite singers, I would say. And Boys to Men.
Oh, I love.
90s, I'm a 90s, R&B.
Yeah.
So those are my favorites.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that too. Now, I know Peruvian food is awesome. Other than that, what other genre of food you like?
I love Chinese food. I love Chinese food.
That's why you live in Flushing. That's the best Chinese food now. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a second Chinese.
I love Chinese food, and I also really love Peruvian food from my country. It's one of my favorites. It really is. I love Peruvian food, Spanish food, any ethnic food. I love rice. I'm a big rice eater. I love rice.
But you're in good shape because people say you're not supposed to eat so much carbohydrates.
I could be in better shape, but I've been taking my kids to the gym recently, and I found out how badly in shape I am. I need to get in shape.
That's funny. So when you, oh my God, thank you, Ancient. She showered us with $1.99 super stick. Oh my God. And
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, and tell me a little bit about, not a little bit, it has to be quick. Um with your children, like, do you have a way to have them do things if they don't want to do it?
Yes, sometimes with the acting, I remember the first one of the films that I made, which was when my daughter and son were sitting across the table from each other. She had a little moment where she got frustrated because her lines weren't being executed correctly, so she was crying. So I had to stop for a minute, and I have sometimes I think in that one I encourage them with ice cream. It's like, if you guys do a good job at this, I'll give you some ice cream after. So that was
Grab
me
them.
not knowing how to direct, but trying my best. I said, okay,
Very
let's.
soon you're
But it worked.
gonna pay them. Very soon you're gonna pay them.
Yeah.
I
Oh
used
yeah.
to I used to pay my son when practice, right? At the very beginning, every time he practice, I give him a sticker. Yeah, there's a chart. And then I think later on when he practices, I think I wore him, $1, a practice.
Oh wow.
Not a good idea. But anyway, yeah. So speaking of ice cream, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, cookies and cream. I love cookies and cream. Always have. No matter how many new flavors they come out with, I love cookies and cream, and also rum ice cream.
And as a teacher, you must be an early riser, right? You have to get up early.
Yes, very early. I get up at 5:50 in the morning. So, yeah.
When do you go to bed?
Sometimes I'm supposed to go to bed around 10, but usually I go to bed around 12 midnight because of all the things I'm still doing after my kids go to bed. You know, I want to be able to still be there with my wife. You know, if she needs me to talk or whatever, if I need to cook or if she needs help with something, or you know, to spend time with her as well. So, or work on extra projects if I have time to, without the kids being up. So, yeah.
So when the family get together, do you watch movie, and what movie do you watch together?
Sometimes we do. We love Marvel movies. I really like Marvel movies a lot. We just, I think the last one we saw was Black Adam. It was, they love the superhero special effects stuff. So do I. I'm a kind of nerd for that. So they had their little Star Wars phase when they watched all the Star Wars movies. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So name two things your student would say about you.
Funny. Because I make my students laugh a lot. I don't really think I'm funny, but they laugh a lot in my class. So I'm very animated in my classroom. So they'll probably say I'm a very animated teacher. I'm that type of teacher that'll jump off a piano to prove a point about something. So that's me.
That's awesome. Are you handy? Like,
I could be better at that. Yeah, I need work in that area. I'm getting better.
Watch YouTube about that.
Yeah, I'm getting better. YouTube is my best friend when I need to learn anything. So, yeah.
Yeah. So now, what's the most romantic thing you took your wife in last year?
Let's see. I took her to this very nice Italian restaurant. It was very, very nice. And when they sat us down, it looked like almost like when the king and the queen sit on the table and you can see like everything. It was one of those places. It was a very nice place. I plan on doing some way better stuff than that, though. That was just last year. So.
Yeah, that's nice. So during the pandemic to 2020, right? From 2020 March on for a year or two, right? And how do you deal with having 4 kids at home? Is it driving you crazy?
At times, but not really. It was the hardest thing about 2020 for me was online teaching. It was disastrous. I don't ever want to relive that. It was so hard. And I don't think people understand how difficult it was to be a teacher during 2020, and students. I mean, they had it too, but as a teacher, you're ignored online. Kids would say here when you call their name, and then they just mute you and go back to bed. And you're sitting there teaching a screen of circles with little letters on them to represent who they are, but their screens are off, their mics are off.
Yeah.
So you try to call them to answer a question, they're not even there, and it was just disastrous. And only 2 or 3 kids would have their video on out of a class of 60 students. And it felt like I was just teaching 2 or 3 kids sometimes. It was just the worst time that I've ever experienced as a teacher. And
I know that because my son was home, and he would turn on his computer right in the class, and he would mute himself, and then he'll do something else. And when the teacher, of course, their class size is very small though, like 15 people. You can't really get away with leaving the room, but still they can roll off bed 1 minute, 1 minute.
I have all of my kids as well. I had all 4 of my kids on their laptops in the same room. They have their earphones on, but they're in there in the same room with their laptops. I'm in the other room. My wife is teaching in the other room, her class. So it's,
your wife is a teacher too.
Yeah, she's also a teacher. She teaches 2nd grade.
Awesome.
So during 2020, she was teaching kindergarten. So it was a lot just for us to use the house as a school for that long of time, and it was just difficult. Sometimes when my daughter was done with school, she would, come into the room while I'm teaching the class, and she'll, come and give me a hug. And then you see some of the kids, oh, she's so cute, texting on the chat. So I don't really want to relive that ever again. That was the hardest thing about 2020. It wasn't really being at home with my children because I really enjoy being home with my kids. I love my kids, but it was stressful. The 2020 school year was the most stressful thing for me during 2020. I'm sorry for the long answer. I know you said
Long answer. Yeah. So now in your book, right, in your script, I didn't read it yet. Is there a character of you when you grown up, and would you like to act on it?
There is a character that's similar to me. The funny type of silliness that he has, and that's Electro. He's the one that's on the cover. His character is a lot like me, but also the teenager. He had a very noticeable talent to do something. So did I when I was a kid. He also came from a family where he wanted his father to. I was about to say reprimand. I'm sorry. He wanted his father's approval, and that's something that he seeked after so much. But in the story, this kid didn't really get it. I didn't really always get it as well, but not as bad as the character in the story, So
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. Some more people come here. How do I say the name? Jhaal? No, that's not her name. No, it is. I'm sorry. Lifestyle. OFW.
how are you seeing?
Oh, because I'm on my computer. You are on your phone. That's why.
Yeah, I can't
may
see
not- Yeah,
anybody.
I see comments. So people are making comments.
Oh wow!
Ancient 11
I
said,
saw it earlier, but now I don't see him.
yeah, loving the behind the scenes view we have getting firsthand. So I can pull their thing on top of here, you know. Oh yeah,
Oh, I see it now. I see it now.
and I can also show them your Instagram in the bottom. Do you see it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, I
it's
don't.
scrolling. Oh, scrolling. Yeah. So yeah, because you're using your phone, so it's a little bit different interface. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But anyway, what else? Question. Do you have? What was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, if you had a chance to have dinner with three person, live or dead, who would you want to have dinner with?
Tyler Perry would be one of them. Um, because of what he does, I'm intrigued by, I've heard a lot of times where he's talked about his whole film life and film career. That kind of intrigues me. I want to kind of be able to talk to him about that. Who else? Let me see. Alive or dead, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter how long ago?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, Jesus would be definitely one. It would be Tyler Perry, Jesus, and I would say somebody that's alive. Let me see. Boy, that's a hard question. There's so many people.
Yeah, I know it's hard to.
Steven Spielberg. I would love to have a talk with Steven Spielberg and just pick his brain. Yeah.
A nice one. That's a nice one. Me too. I have been asking people that a lot, right? I tell you someone I really like, okay, is Bobby McFerrin. Do you know him? I want to have dinner with him. Bobby McFerrin, he's African American. He's a singer. He is also a jazz improvisationer. Okay, Google him, Bobby McFerrin. Okay,
Bobby McFerrin.
yeah, he's incredible, and he uses his voice. RJ, he uses his voice to imitate instrument.
Oh, I do know who you're talking about.
He would
I
sing
know who you're
opera.
talking about. I
He
didn't
was
know that was his name.
yeah, he would sing like a symphonic music. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking
no.
about.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah,
I
I
can
know
go
who you're
first.
talking about.
Yeah, don't worry, be happy. Yeah, yeah, Nick said. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry, be happy.
uh-huh.
That's his big singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, I know people by face. I'm so bad with names, even
Oh, yeah.
famous people.
Me too.
You
Me
know,
too.
I've told people have told me, you don't know who that is. I'm like, then they show me a picture. Oh, that guy.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
know.
know who that is. So yeah, I know who that is.
I only recognize the box brand,
Yeah,
and I forget what is it called,
yeah. Don't worry, be happy, guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good.
yeah.
So now I'll take you to a bar now. It's a happy hour. What would you order?
Honestly, some people are probably gonna be like, really? I'm not really a drinker. I would probably just order like a ginger ale with ice because I don't really drink alcohol like that.
That's a wimpy teacher. No,
Yeah,
you have kids
yeah,
around you. Probably it's a good idea, right?
yeah. I'm not really a drinker. Like I don't really, I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I had some bad experiences with the alcohol with my,
Mm,
stepfather. So that
mm,
probably turned me off. But also, I just never really liked the taste of
yeah,
alcohol.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not really a drinker.
Okay.
The only thing that I did drink that wasn't pretty pretty good was a red wine that I once tasted. It had the sweet taste to it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Great. Last question.
sure.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, coffee, all day. Starbucks, all day.
Some is really, really, really bitter for me. But I built a sort of a hard what's the taste for Greek coffee now.
Oh
And
yeah.
Greek coffee is AKA Turkish coffee. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really good. So now I drink Turkish coffee. Oh, sorry. If there's a Greek people down there, I should not say Turkish coffee. I should say Greek coffee. You know that. So anyway, yeah. How about let's pretend this is a clubhouse. Last word. You.
Pretend this is Clubhouse.
Yeah, last word.
And I'm a moderator.
Yeah, yeah, you're
I'm a
moderator.
moderator.
Yeah, yeah. We're supposed to say last word. So what's your last word, RJ?
Well, Ching, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be here to, I guess, share a piece of my life with you. I've never been interviewed before. This is my very first time
Oh,
ever being interviewed. So
honor.
I was scared. Honestly, like, okay, what do I say? What if people are watching? What am I
You're a
going to say?
teacher. You're supposed to be really good at that,
Yeah, yeah, But when I'm in front of my students, it's like breathing. I could talk to them for hours. I can talk for days without teaching music if I just talk about life all day. But when it comes to, I don't know, I just got so nervous before this. I was like, what do I say? Who's gonna be watching? What am I gonna say? So yeah, I was very nervous, but
No,
thank you
you're
so
great.
much for this opportunity to just share a piece of my life. Like I said, share my novel with people and the story, and my kids, my wife, my school. I'm just very grateful. The awards, I'm super grateful for everything that God has been blessing me with in this season of my life, and you know, thank you for allowing me to do this.
Thank you. Thank you. Last word from me. Thank you, RJ, for being here. And finally, after I chase you for many, many months, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? And yeah, and I want to thank everybody has been here, supporting us, watching this live show, and this will be replayed right after this is over. So some of your friends and my friends can watch again.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah.